Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? I'm just gonna do a quick brioche dough stream for probably half an hour, and then I'll see you around 3:30-ish for the rest of the stream. So I got this recipe from King Arthur Flour. Really good baking site online. I've made quite a few recipes of theirs and they've all worked out really well. So if anyone wants to know where this recipe is from, King Arthur Flour. I'm doing great today, Mia. Went to the gym this morning, had a nice little brunch, got cleaned up, and here I am, ready to have a fun day with you guys. So this recipe makes 6 buns. They're a little bit sweet. I would say they're more rich than anything, just because they have egg yolks and butter in them, like quite a bit. So this recipe only takes about 20-ish minutes to make the dough, and then we're gonna let it rest for an hour, and then ball the buns, and then let it rest for at least another half an hour before we bake it. So probably a good 2 hours total from start to finish, but it's easy to do stuff like in between while the dough is resting. So that's when we're gonna prep our veggie burgers and such. You could also make this dough ahead of time and then let it rest overnight in the fridge and make the buns the next day. But these buns are amazing. They're super tender and pillowy. And they toast up really well. That's why I love using them. It's because they get a nice crust. So first things first, we're gonna add our flour to our mixer. I'm just gonna turn you guys down because I have the mixer right in front of me. And that way you can see how everything is made. And then I also have my sourdough starter here. So I'm gonna mix that up a little bit and just put maybe half a cup of it into the mix, just for some extra flavor. So you can see how stretchy and gooey this stuff is. Just naturally fermented flour and water, guys. That's all you need. And you end up with this lovely stuff. Okay, so I am going to just grab a container to measure out my stuff separately. You'll definitely need a scale for this. Glue, yeah, pretty much. The most delicious glue ever. Because most bakers' recipes are all in grams. So keep that in mind, but that is how we keep everything really consistent. Okay, going down. There's my little setup there. Recipe, mixer, and then my scale right in front of me. So 326 grams of flour. Thank you, Barry. And that's gonna be the first thing that goes into the mixer, guys. Always start with your flour first. And I've actually made this recipe 2 times previously, and I always feel like the dough's just a little bit too wet. So let's add an extra 20 grams of flour. So 346 instead of 326. Let's see if that makes a bit of a difference. So this recipe calls for dried milk powder, so that's what I'm gonna substitute for my sourdough starter instead. That'll add the richness instead of the milk powder. But I'm gonna get just a separate container so I don't mess up this one for my dry stuff. So 70 grams. Don't forget to zero your scale. Make sure all your measurements are accurate. There we go. Perfect pour on the first try. Okay, next thing going in is 25 grams of sugar. If you guys have watched me make bread before, you're gonna know that this is what the dough uses to feed off of, and that's how it gets really aerated and bubbly. Is the yeast feeds off of the sugar and pretty much starts farting bubbles, and that's how you get bread. And then it says 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt, but we're not gonna add that to the dough just yet. Because salt also likes to inhibit yeast activity, so we don't wanna kill the yeast before it even gets going. But you do always need salt in your bread. It helps gluten to form. The best imagery, Mia. Okay, next thing up is gonna be our water. So 57 grams of lukewarm water. I'm just going to reuse the container I used for the sourdough starter. And the water will be measured out to about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It may take a bit to get the temp right, but this is one of the most important parts of making bread. Is you don't want your water too hot, otherwise the yeast will die. And if it's too cold, it won't even wake up. So 57 grams of warm water. And then we do need a little bit of manufactured yeast in this, so 1 tablespoon. I am gonna put a little bit less though, just because I did add the starter. I don't wanna get it like overexcited. Perfect, just empty that container. Give that a little jiggle to get the yeast all active. It might start to foam, otherwise it just turns like milky colored. And we'll set that aside for a couple seconds while we prep our butter and eggs. So 142 grams of unsalted butter, and you want to make sure this is pretty soft because we're going to be mixing it into the dough. So you don't want like big chunks of cold butter in there. But this isn't going to be added right away either, guys. We're gonna kind of mix the initial dough and then add our butter and eggs later on. And we're using unsalted butter just so we can control the salt amount in our bread. So I had enough here, that's great. And then for eggs, it says 3 whole large eggs and then 1 large yolk. And I only have 1 large egg and the rest is duck eggs. So I'll use the large egg for the yolk and then use 2 duck eggs instead of 3 large. And so see how our yeast got like really frothy? That's ready to go in. And then we can actually start mixing the dough up. The initial mix while we prep our eggs. Just a bit. We're gonna start on low. I'm gonna do my eggs in here. I do like duck eggs more than chicken eggs. Not only because of flavor, but just like the type of egg it is. It's basic instead of acidic, so when you cook it, it doesn't even like stink up the house like sulfur. And they are bigger, so it's like 1.5 chicken eggs if you're using large. And then I'm gonna crack this first one for the yolk into a separate bowl, and then we can save the white for our egg wash for our buns later on. So we're not wasting anything here, guys. Okay, next thing going in is our eggs. So this is almost like a pasta dough now. Okay, let's start it up again. And then the dough should start forming pretty well now. If you need, just grab a spatula to incorporate it. But I have a little bit different of a mixer, so I'm sure the KitchenAid will do like just fine. And then this recipe also says to like never make it by hand, just because it does take so long to knead the dough. But like pretty sure your arms would be dead after. You wouldn't even be able to roll the buns out. Okay. We're gonna let that keep going now, just on low, and then we're gonna slowly incorporate the butter and then the salt right after that. See if I can get a little bit of a better angle. you'll see how yellow this dough is gonna turn. It's so good. And if you want, you could even double the recipe and then throw the other 6 into the freezer just so you have them on hand for like any sandwiches ever. Really good to keep around. Make sure everything's off the bottom. Not gonna stop mixing this until the butter is all emulsified in. And then the dough is gonna be really nice and shiny and silky. So it does take like a good 15 minutes in the mixer, at least. Just try it once, and then you won't be so afraid. Okay, adding the salt before I forget. And this also helps to make the dough really smooth. I got you, Mia. Even if you're scared, just like DM me and I'll try and help you if I'm not streaming. Like the same thing about just like trying to get a job in a kitchen even is if you don't have confidence, they're not gonna hire you because then you're not able to just like do stuff out of the blue. It took me a while to get there too. I was scared of a lot of stuff at first, but then quickly realized that even if I just start something, there's always an option to find out what happened afterwards. Like, Google is great for that. And even like this site, King Arthur Flour, they have a baking hotline. I don't know if I can get that in there. That you can call if like something goes wrong. It's great. Okay, we're almost there, and then I'm gonna take this one spatula out of the mixer and just let this roll around in here. I think I can even turn it up just a bit. I think they even do like baking courses at King Arthur too. I don't know if they're just online or what. Let's see if I can get this angle. What I need to do is raise this guy. That is it for this spatula. That pretty much just helped to like cut the butter into the dough really slowly. Spatula is great. Now I'm just gonna wipe down the sides one more time. And the bottom for sure. And I'm gonna try and raise the camera up a bit. Sammy, which one is it? Okay, that's a no-go. Let's see if I can just swing the arms around at least. This is like the best part of the stream. Okay. That's a bit better, guys. Let's do this. Turn it up to like medium now. We're gonna beat it up. And then you'll start to see the dough transform. This is like the best part. That sounds so good, chocolate mousse cake. Oh, I think I might be doing some coconut macaroons later. And then maybe I'll use those alongside the creme brulee that I make on Wednesday. Holy smokes. This looks hilarious right now. Okay, let's get that all off the side. You can definitely see how much the other spatula helps with this mixer. I think I might still need it. I already see how elasticy the dough is getting though, hey? Just transforming. Okay, let's put this back on. Boom! How easy was that? It looks like a worm. I'm just gonna put a couple of things away. Chilling. Turn this guy back up. Okay, now it's gonna start dancing around. And I think I'm gonna get out the ingredients for the veggie burgers later on. But feel free to keep chatting. I'll keep watching if you guys have any more questions. But this is gonna mix for like the next 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, chickpeas. That's not too backwards. Hey Abs, how are you today? Tomatoes are not being used for the red. I'm gonna make like a little bit of a fresh tomato relish later to put on the veggie burger. Did they just do pickled onions? I've made this veggie burger before and I've always done like pickled red onions on it, abs. That's hilarious. Can you tell how much the bread has changed? Oh, that would just be hilarious if they did that, abs. Because I haven't really watched in the last couple of days either. It'd be a funny coincidence. Cooking him. Yeah, the gluten is starting to form, Mia. It's getting like all stringy. It's exactly what we want. Hey, this parsley is so sad. I have to put it into veggie burgers. Okay, we're almost there. You can see how it's just starting to form a ball now. So now I definitely don't need the spatula. Wait, abs, I think you're actually wrong. Isn't his name Pickled Eggs? I think that's why I didn't get your joke before. We'll call him Pickled Onions though next time he's in here for sure. Okay, let's get this stuff off the bottom. See what happens. Mia. No, it's fine. Totally fine. Okay. longer we mix this dough, the better our crust is gonna be. Just so you guys know. Yeah, I would never order a pickled egg. Never, ever. I think I'm just gonna turn it up one more notch on here. Got one final mix. And I think we're about 2 minutes away. Gherkins are life, that's true. I love like pretty much all pickles except pickled eggs. Like any vegetable pickle, so good. Okay, these little balls in the middle are hilarious. Now let's see how stringy this has gotten. I think we're there, guys. I think we have formed all of the gluten that we have to. Smooth like butter. So I know it's done because I can pull it away from the side and it's like almost creating a window that you can see through. So like that's when you know you've formed enough gluten, is if you can pull out your dough and like really stretch it. You should be able to see through the middle, and that's called like the window checking method. That's what I learned in my baking class. This looks beautiful. I'm just gonna form it into a ball real quick. And then that's gonna go chill by the fireplace for an hour. And it's gonna blow up. It's probably gonna double in size at least. And then I will see you guys. What time is it at now? Mia. I love making bread. I don't know why. It's just my fave. It's all good, Abs. I love the questions. Okay, it's 2:24. I'll see you guys at 3:30 then. And we'll finish off the rest of dinner. I'm doing like a chickpea slash white bean veggie burger. Kind of like a falafel is what our flavor is gonna be like. And then gonna put just a bunch of fixins on there, make a little salad on the side as well. And that's it. So see you in an hour, guys. Thanks for watching.